She got Dior, she move right so it's more. I take her out on tour, I love her to my core. I think about her whenever I record. Put her in an AMG, it's no more foreign. I put her in a foreign cause I'm turned.
To start off this nail set, first I started with the Me Secret Prep and Dehydrator Prep and Prime Her Nails. And I didn't show me shaping and applying the nail tips and prepping and pushing back the cuticles, but if you guys want that in another video, I can show you guys how I prep and shape and stuff. So for this nail, we did encapsulating with glitter. So basically I used my nail house glitter. I'm not sure what this color is called, but if I could find it, I'll link it down below. And I started off by doing a super thin layer of this color and then just encapsulating it with clear. I feel like this is the easiest way for me to do encapsulations when it comes to acrylic powder. Okay, but this is a really good tip for beginners who are struggling with application, getting a perfect application with the colored acrylic. I say try using a super thin, not a super thin layer, but a thinner layer of colored acrylic and just going over it with clear to build the nail, because that's going to help you a whole lot, because clear is much easier to work with and maneuver rather than colored acrylic. When doing nails, it is super important to clean your brush throughout the whole nail process. So what I usually do is, I don't know if you could tell, but I keep tapping my paper towel. I make sure I keep tapping my paper towel and dipping it in some monomer, just so no acrylic in general will dry in my brush and mess any of my bristles up. Because let me tell y'all, these nail brushes, they is expensive and you do not want to keep going through them every single week. In this video, I am using a size 14, and at first, when I first tried the size 14, I did not like it because it was too big. But since I do longer nails, the size 14 brush honestly has helped me way more. I usually use a size 12. I recommend starting off with a size 10 or a size 12. Don't do a size 14 if you're a beginner, because you will be working with too much acrylic and you will be super overwhelmed. So I recommend a size 10 or a size 12 if you're just starting out. And I'm gonna link the link to this brush down below. It was from Amazon and I think it was like $30, but it's a really good brush and it'll last you a while as long as you take care of your brushes properly. Do not forget after every single nail set to soak your nail brush in some type of brush cleaner. Just in case during the nail set you did get some acrylic left over in your brush, you could ensure that all the acrylic is gone after you soak it in some brush cleaner. I use Nail Lab, but I've also used Mia Secret, and Mia Secret is pretty good. I recommend either one of those two. So I personally use a 3B method. I just found that this is like the most easiest method that I could use to help me kind of achieve the right thickness and apex. But you can honestly use any B method you want. You could use a 1B method, you could use 20 Bs, you could use 30, as long as you're getting the nail to be as thick and the apex to be built. That's really all that matters. So when I do the 3B method, my first bead I put right underneath where the natural tip almost meets the nail. I apply it right underneath there, and I kind of just pat it down to where the whole bead fills the whole nail instead of me wasting more acrylic. My second bead I put right where the natural nail and the nail tip, and this is kind of where like you want to make sure your apex is built really good at this point, because this is kind of like the stress area of the nail. So what I usually try to do is make sure my apex is thick enough to where it won't break, but I also like to make it thin enough to where my client's nails aren't too thick. And I know a lot of people do struggle with application, so if you guys do want me to go in more of an in-depth video on how I do my application isn't perfect, but I've learned many like tips and tricks that I think can help you guys. When I do my last cuticle bead, I always place it above where I did my last bead, and I always make sure I hold the nail down so the cuticle doesn't flood. When you hold the nail down, this allows the acrylic to move down instead of moving towards the cuticle, and that helps with flooding. In this video, I am using Valentino's Super White, and I really do recommend any of his whites and his nudes. I feel like, especially if you're a beginner, they are super duper beginner friendly, and they're the best whites and nudes that I've used. I recommend encapsulating every single nail set you do, even if it's a basic nail set, because when you seal the cuticle with your e-file, your drill, or you buff or you file, the acrylic will come off a little bit, so it could take away from the apex and how you built the nail. So I always encapsulate, even if it's just a solid color. The clear I use is from Mia Secret. This is personally the only clear I've used, so I can't really compare it to others, but it works for me and it does what it needs to do. So I recommend it. Mia Secret is a really good line for beginners also.
Just give me trust and love and I won't live. Just give me trust and love and I won't leave. I'm falling for you, girl, just like the leaves. Whenever you not around, I cannot breathe. Your love is not the one, it's what I need. So come here, girl, and hold it down. You know I'm from the streets. You never hold me back, you just tell me be free. I could tell that you was different since the first time that we linked. Had a fresh set of nails and your lashes, they was mink fur. And in my mind, I like I need her. I could tell.
Okay, you can see I kind of did my first bead kind of more on the thinner side, just because this nail is going to be encapsulated and we're going to add some stickers. So what I usually do is kind of make my first bead just a little thinner, since I know I am going to go back over the whole nail with clear. And then I kind of make my apex just a little smaller than what I would normally do. And I kind of just made my apex and my third bead kind of one, so I kind of really only did like a 2.5 bead, 2 bead method, just so the nail wasn't too thick, and when I did apply clear on top, it would have got way thicker and it would have been so much filing and drilling I would have to do on my end. The whole process with encapsulating with stickers is just the same as doing with glitter, but you just use a regular solid color or whatever your client wants underneath it, and then you just go over it with clear. And I got these stickers from, I want to say, SoCal Nail Supply Store, but it could be Nail Lab, but I know you could probably get these off Amazon or any little nail supply store online. They usually sell them. The liquid to powder ratio really plays a big role in wasting acrylic and not wasting acrylic. So when you have like the perfect liquid to ratio with acrylic, when I tell you, you will be able to use the whole bead and not waste any, kind of how I did in this clip right here. A lot of people do ask, like, how long does it take to perfect application? Application is probably the hardest part besides learning designs when it comes to nails, and that's where a lot of people do get discouraged and do want to quit. But when I tell you, do not quit, do not quit, do not give up, keep practicing, and I'm telling you, you will get your application down pat. As long as you're really dedicated and you actually do enjoy doing nails, the application is gonna come over time. Application isn't something you're just gonna learn overnight, and I feel like that's what a lot of people forget. And by all means, my application still is not perfect. I still have a whole lot to work on, but from how my nails were almost a whole year ago till now, my application has gotten so much better, and it's just because you're constantly practicing, and practicing. I do want to do a more in-depth nail Q&A, so if anybody has questions or anything, y'all can comment down below or DM me some questions, because I know a lot of people do have questions, and I know a lot of people, I did post on my Instagram, like, ask me some questions. I know a whole lot of people did. So I don't know if I want to do like a voiceover of you guys watching me do nails, or actually sit down and y'all can look at me and answer questions.
You're so lazy. Get that bag, get through. Baby, right your wrongs. Life goes on. Hey. Life goes on. Know you been hurt before, baby, right your wrongs. I know you tired of the same nigga that been doing you wrong. All the fussing and fighting and going through his phone. You probably hit us a lot, but baby, leave him alone. Just leave him alone. Just leave him alone. Life goes on. Know you been hurt before, baby, right your wrongs. I know you tired of the same nigga that been doing you wrong. All the fussing and fighting and going through his phone. You probably hit us a lot, but baby, leave him alone. Just leave him alone. Just leave him alone. Baby, leave him alone. He ain't got your best interest. You are not his love, baby girl, you just a sex image. You deserve the best, baby girl, I see your best image. You can start a business, baby girl, I'm investing. He treats you like a Trisha. Got the keys to success, no Alicia. You know I'm all about the breaches in my beeper. Promise I'ma show you different when I see ya. So let me see you. I could tell you been through some pain just when I seen you. I know it could feel so hard just to be you. So I hope you know I see the best just when I see you. So I just hope you stay strong. Life goes on. Know you been hurt before, baby, right your wrongs. I know you tired of the same nigga that been doing you wrong. All the fussing and fighting and going through his phone. You probably hit us a lot, but baby, leave him alone. Just leave him alone. Just leave him alone. Life goes on. Know you been hurt before, baby, right your wrongs. I know you tired of the same nigga that been doing you wrong. All the fussing and fighting and going through his phone. You probably hit us a lot, but baby, leave him alone. Just leave him alone. Just leave him alone. Baby, life goes on. You can find the beauty in you, just hold on. You don't need a man or the drugs to stay strong. Cause just being you is all amazing on its own. I know you feel pain when you just sitting all alone. But life goes on. Life goes on. I wish that I could take away your nightmares. But whenever you feel scared, know I'm right here. Whenever you feel pain, know I'm right here. Whenever you alone, know I'm right here. So don't be weary, even though it could get scary. Life goes on. Know you been hurt before, baby, right your wrongs. I know you tired of the same nigga that been doing you wrong. All the fussing and fighting and going through his phone. You probably hit us a lot, but baby, leave him alone. Just leave him alone. Just leave him alone. Life goes on. Know you been hurt before, baby, right your wrongs. I know you tired of the same nigga that been doing you wrong. All the fussing and fighting and going through his phone. You probably hit us a lot, but baby, leave him alone. Just leave him alone. Just leave him alone. Life goes on. Know you been hurt before, baby, right your wrongs. I know you tired of the same nigga that been doing you wrong. All the fussing and fighting and going through.
So for this part, I'm just taking my e-file. I got this drill bit from actually one of my nail tech friends, but she got it from SoCal Nail Supply Store. If I can find the link to it, I will link it down below. But I use this drill bit to seal the cuticle. Sealing the cuticle is super duper important. It's a super important step that you guys should not miss, because sealing the cuticle just ensures, oh my god, that's crazy, because she's drinking Ensure and I just said Ensure. It just ensures that your nail won't lift and it won't pop up. So it just kind of gets all the extra acrylic off from the cuticle and make sure everything is super smooth. It's no lumps, it's no bumps, none of that. And don't forget to buff your nail. Buffing is super important. I don't care how perfect you think your application is, still buff your nail. I usually use a wax pen to pick up my rhinestones, but if you don't got a wax pen, you could use a crayon also. And wax pens you could get either from the nail supply store or Amazon. They're super cheap. They're only like $1 each. So for this part, I was just doing a little design with some rhinestones, and in this video I did use the Mia Secret gel resin, but my favorite so far that I've tried is either Zule or the Ladybug resin. And the Ladybug resin you can get from SoCal Nail Supply. They also have an actual nail supply store in Anaheim. And then the Zule you can get from justzule.com. And I would say if you do struggle with like rhinestone placement, I don't recommend using an actual rhinestone glue because it does dry super fast, and once it dries you cannot move it. So I would say use like a 3D gem gel. So for top coat, I usually use IBD. This is my go-to, but I have used Nail Supply Glamour, but IBD works really good for me. And gels can get really expensive, like top coat gels can get really expensive. Like 2 of these on Amazon are like $20. So I recommend getting like a big refill bottle that costs like $50. And when I tell you that will last you for a cool minute. So what I usually do is I do 1 or 2 coats and then I wipe the sidewalls of the nails off, just so when I put it in the UV light, none of the liquid starts to drip, and when it goes in the UV light, it can make little bumps on the side and it takes away from the shape. So I usually just wipe the sides just to make sure I don't have any excess gel left over. So to finish this look off, I just go around with my cuticle oil, and I make this cuticle oil myself. It's nowhere where I get it, but if y'all want to know how to make cuticle oil, I can teach y'all how to make cuticle oil. It's super easy, and all the products I use in it you have at home.
Life goes on. That I could take away your nightmares, but whenever you feel scared, know I'm right here. Whenever you feel pain, know I'm right here.
So this is how the nails ended up coming out. They were really, really cute, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video.